We're going to look at the situation that sometimes occurs during an internal audit where we identify a non-conformance and then later in the day the auditees come back with subsequent evidence and say, look, we now think we're conforming. Is that still a non-conformance or not? Practical example, a simple one, use it in some of the earlier blogs. We've got a roadworks crew. They've set up their traffic management barriers. There's about 5 guys and girls on site working. The requirement we're looking at is that all staff complete the safety induction prior to commencing work. At the time of the audit, let's say that there was records and evidence demonstrating that 2 of them had the induction, but not the other 3. So we identify what's clearly a non-conformance against that requirement. As an example of the situation I'm talking about is that might be at 11 o'clock in the morning. Just before we do our exit meeting, an hour and a half later, we get the site manager running back up and saying, oh, hang on, Andrew, we've now got induction records for all of the staff. The question we're really dealing with, is that still a non-conformance or not? I'll give you 2 scenarios. If that evidence had existed at the time, back at 11 o'clock when I asked that question, perhaps I was just interviewing the wrong person. The site manager doesn't have all the induction records. Perhaps after the site manager's inducted them, after a week or so, those records go back to the HR manager in the office. Okay, maybe I just wasn't interviewing all the people I should have. If those other 3 records did actually exist at 11 o'clock, I will look at that evidence. By reviewing those extra records, hang on, it is pretty clear those staff had been inducted. We just hadn't fully looked at all areas where that evidence might be. So yes, that genuinely might be a conformance now, a conformance finding rather than non-conformance. The other one that does happen though a little bit is the site manager might say, right, I'm going to get all the guys, I'm going to get the team together, get them in the site shed, we're going to run the induction right now at 11:01. 20 minutes later they've genuinely completed the safety induction and they've now got records for all people on site. Technically, that still needs to be a non-conformance. It's great that they've taken action on it, but if you look back at that requirement, it's stating that people must complete the safety induction before they commence work. Yes, it's great the site manager's got everyone together. That's really just showing an ability to respond to a finding that you've identified. It doesn't even really show that they were that aware of that gap in their system. Yes, they've responded on this one occasion, but if they engage 3 new staff next week, it doesn't necessarily demonstrate that they've really looked at the root cause and they've come up with a solution that will ensure that those new staff are inducted when they should be as well. So technically, that should still be a non-conformance. We can explain it to that site manager, look, great, but we want you to look at this in a bit more detail, look at the root causes, take action on the root causes and spend a bit more time because you need a solution that's going to work for you, not just now, but into the future as well.
If you found this video valuable, you may also benefit from my other HSEQ videos. Click on any of the videos on the screen to view them. They will help you on your road to becoming a HSEQ compliance rockstar. I know achieving certification to various standards is challenging, but I want to help you become confident in your HSEQ compliance.